They say time heals all wounds, but time has not healed the wounds of Africa because the knife is still in our backs, and too often the hand holding it is our own. For centuries, European powers mastered the art of plunder. They did not only take gold, our diamonds, our cocoa, our oil, they took our very people. They chained our ancestors, whipped their backs, stole their names, outlawed their gods, and told them that they were less than human. But when we rose, when we began to remember who we were, they changed the method, but not the mission. They no longer needed the whip. They found something more effective: betrayal. They found Africans willing to sell out their own for a seat at foreign tables. They found so-called Negro elites eager to abandon the villages that raised them, the elders who blessed them, and the ancestors who watched them. Sometimes the African is the worst enemy of the African. Those who betray their own families for the acceptance of Europeans wound us more deeply than the colonizer ever could. Look at our continent, rich in minerals, rich in mines, rich in music, in memory and might. And yet we are made poor, not because we lack wealth, but because we lack protection from those who would sell us out. Ask yourself, why is it that every African leader who dares to rise for his people ends up in a grave, a prison, or exile? Patrice Lumumba murdered with Western complicity because he dared to demand Congolese control over Congolese minerals. Thomas Sankara, assassinated after only 4 years for threatening French economic strangleholds. Kwame Nkrumah, overthrown after dreaming of a united Africa beyond the chains of colonialism. And yet today we still have leaders who kneel to Europe while standing on the backs of their own people. Let us be clear. Not every enemy wears a foreign face. Not every oppressor speaks with an accent. Some wear our skin but serve the master's voice. Some wave our flags but sign away our lands. They appear at conferences, smiling for photo ops, while children in their own nations die with empty stomachs and full graves. A leader who forgets the people is like a tree with weak roots. No matter how tall it grows, it will fall. To the young ones listening today, to the grandsons and granddaughters of Africa, your future does not lie in menacing. It does not lie in the approval of nations who build their wealth on the backs of your ancestors. There will come a day when you will have the power to open doors or keep them closed, to lift others up or push them down. What kind of man, what kind of woman do you want to be? Let me tell you something. The West will never teach you true strength is not found in dominance, but in service. Not in making others feel small, but in helping them rise from the ruins you did not cause, but were born to repair. The theft has been material, yes, but also intellectual. Africa educates engineers, doctors, scientists, only to watch them leave for foreign lands enriching other nations while our hospitals collapse and our waters run dry. Even our stories are stolen, our language mocked, our tradition labeled primitive by those who came with blood on their hands and Bible in their bags. My enemies have seduced my lost children with false values, but the moral failure is not theirs alone. It is ours if we remain silent. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Black Africans, we are responsible for our children's failure. To my fellow African leaders, your people are watching. Your children are watching. History is watching. Do not be the president who sells your country's future for a foreign loan you will never repay. Do not be a minister who signs away the last forest, the last river, the last dignity of your nation. Do not be a minister that sells away your ancestors and the teaching of the ancestors. Wisdom has been carved into the landscape. Our lands have suffered enough to speak. Do not insult the memory of our freedom fighters by becoming the very puppet that they fought to cut out. And to the West, hear this. We are not your charity case. We are not your dumping ground. We are not your experiment. Africa does not need your permission to rise. We do not need your applause to lead. We need you to stop stealing. Return what you took. Cancel the illegitimate debts. End the unfair trade agreements. And above all, stop corrupting our sons and daughters with your false promises and forked tongues. My people, my leaders, we have come to the end of illusion. We have entered the end of reckoning. We have entered the era of reckoning. The next chapter of Africa will not be written in Paris or Washington, but in Accra, Lagos, Nairobi, Dakar, and Johannesburg. Not with the ink of dependence, but with the blood of truth, the fire of justice, and the unshakable memory of who we are. Africa is not poor, the wealthiest continent on earth. She is plundered. Her children are not lost, they are betrayed. But now they awaken. And may the Creator, the ancestors, and history forgive us if we ever forget again. Now, let me tell you something. When you look at our continent, rich in minerals, rich in minds, music, memory, and might, and yet made poor, not because we lack wealth, but because we lack protection from those who sell us out. I tell you this again so that you never forget and we never let it happen again. Africa is not poor, it is plundered. Black people are not lost, they have been deliberately misled. We are awakened.